Ever wake up feeling like you're already behind schedule? Luckily, there's Office Depot Office Max, here to help you save time and money. With all the supplies, all the tech, all the furniture, all the everything to get ahead and stay ahead. Whether that's from home, the office, or anywhere. Plus, when you shop online, we'll have your order ready for pickup, now in just 30 minutes. We promise. Or get $5 off your next qualifying purchase. Because our business is to keep business going. Visit OfficeDepot.com for details.
Welcome to another episode of Same Cast, Different Day podcast. I'm Martell Rowland.
Keeping your pet happy and healthy. That's what Chewy is all about, which is why we offer veterinary diets, prescriptions, even compounded medications customized for your pet, so you can get what they need to feel good. Shop America's #1 pet pharmacy. Visit Chewy.com today.
I'm Tina Marie.
And I'm Marcus.
Now here you go with the foul intro. I just got about to hit on her live. We was live on Facebook. And she was like, I'm Tina.
I was ready. I didn't have my snacks yet.
Oh my God. So thank you for listening to the Must Listen To podcast of all time. Make sure you tell your friends about us. Download our podcast. You can tell your friends they can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Deezer, and so on. So many platforms you can find us. Thank you very much. So for this episode, we're going to be speaking politics. Frizzling, go away. Y'all, Frizzling is my kid. He's really a cat, but it's my kid. But we're going to be discussing politics on this episode more. So, like the presidential election, I believe we said, why is the United States such a powerful nation? Mm-hmm. So I want to get started with why is the United States such a powerful nation? And from my standpoint, I always said it's such a powerful nation because basically we got over here by ourselves, and then unlike Canada and South America. Well, Canada, they don't have countries in Canada, but like South America though, they just like a continent with a bunch of countries inside of it, mm-hmm. and they all got their own different governments, and then Canada got their own different government or whatever. But I keep on saying like the reason why America's its own powerful nation over here because we just one big huge country, whatever, ran by one government. And some people might say that's not why, but I'm just saying that's my opinion because overseas where you got Africa, which is a bunch of countries inside of a continent, and mm-hmm. Europe and Asia and all these other places, they have so many different governments over there, and they all just on this one big massive land together. And that's why there's so much chaos over there, and they're fighting over there so much because it's just too much people with power going to their head that's over there. And that's just why I feel like America is so powerful because we just basically the only thing over here by ourselves, doing our own thing.
What's so funny to me is to hear other countries talk about how far behind we are with a lot of different things. Basically, how they don't care for Americans. We're stupid, we slow, we this, we that. You know, they really don't want to have anything to do with Americans, and that's so amazing to me because for one reason or another, we feel like we're so far superior compared to other countries, and I don't really understand why. You get what I'm saying? So we're more developed in some areas, not all areas, you know. But man, listen, if we was over there in Southeast Asia, Europe, over there, no.
And I think one of the reasons why we consider far behind is because we don't educate our youth like they do.
That's true. It's a lot of
lost youth out here.
And I say like America, we will let people from other countries come in and go to what some people call other countries university for free. And over here, if you're an American citizen, it's not so much free, and some people struggle to even pay for that meal to go and do that. Yeah. Now, I don't know how the university system is in other countries. That may be something I have to talk about, look into.
Well, I read a lot, and from what I hear, it's not as much different over there as it is here. You know, it's pretty much they go through the same thing. It's just over there, their university is totally. Their system is totally different from our schooling system, see, because what we call university here is what they call basically like a senior year in high school there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about college.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's called, like, over there, like, well, from what I read in the UK, it's, like, called A-levels over in the UK. So, it's not, That's their college.
But
there.
I would like. But do they get free? Do they
No, they do go through the same thing like tuition and loans and grants.
But
and all
I'm
of
pretty
that stuff
sure,
too.
like how, like it costs $50,000 a year to go to Marquette University. So you think $50,000 a year after 4 years, 4 or 5 years, you what $200,000, almost $300,000 in debt.
Oh, true.
I don't understand why education costs so much.
And that's why I feel like we're so far behind. So I feel like in other countries, I don't think it would cost their people so much money to go to school. And considering the fact that like we can go over there, and then it's so much easier for us to go to school over there in their countries. But then, like I said, it's so much harder for us in our own land to go to school.
Yeah, because if we take, say, we take $500 American over to the UK over there, it's like 5,000 pounds.
I mean, right?
And
But
you can go to school for a whole year off of 5,000 pounds over there.
exactly. But like even if you like go do like the study abroad program, even though you still enrolled in school here, but it's very cheap to do the study abroad program and go over there and still go to school and learn different cultures and
Yeah.
the way how they teach. Well, compared to here, I mean, some people they can just apply to come over to the country, saying they coming over here for school, and then they get either schooling for free or they get so many grants and scholarships where they don't have to pay as much as the people who live in the country. And that's what I'm saying. Like the reason why I feel America is so far behind when it comes to educating our youth because we don't put the money into educating them.
No, we don't.
True.
We do not.
Our system is far behind.
And I keep having a problem with I'm so sorry, a problem with public schools. Because to me, with public schools, it just seems like they don't care anymore. Like the teachers, like you have teachers who care, but then as far as like how the whole system go, it's a complete failure. Like I feel like they set kids up to fail. Because I feel like once I got out of school and everything I was taught, grades, kindergarten through senior year of high school, it was all a lie. Because I felt lost when I went to college because I feel like everything I learned in high school has nothing to do to prepare me for college.
I agree.
So I felt lost, and I feel like I had to basically start over from the beginning, like basically like being in kindergarten because it didn't prepare me for college whatsoever.
So I do feel like my high school experience did prepare me for college or what my end career ended up being, only because my career like encompasses a lot of everything: sociology, geography. I got to know a lot about where people come from and what their moral beliefs and values, so they can get treated with the different types of medications, eat the right kind of meals, just all of that together. Of course, biology, in all the sciences, math because of medication. So everything I did learn in high school, it did ended up applying to what I do now. But I do agree, it's a lot of stuff that I feel more so about that with college because I feel like it's a lot of courses that I took over the span of all the many different colleges that I went to that I really didn't need to know none of that stuff. And I also feel like it's stuff like home economics, what they took out of high school, they need to put it back in there because a lot of people don't know what, just basics of what a job and what Social Security is, and what life insurance is, and
Right.
health insurance, and
Although like they say, the parents should step in and teach them, but like I said, the school doesn't prepare you for life after high school. That's what I feel like how the school system is now, because like when I was in high school, like you got your basic, you got English, history, gym, and science, and that was it. We had no art classes, nothing to even teach you about how to manage good credit. There was nothing to prepare you for life after high school. Then when I got to college, it was like everything I learned in those English classes, and then in history was a complete lie.
Well, see, it's crazy because I'm only a couple of years older than you, and like we were like when we was talking to Mama the other day, and she had brought up the fact that she was in the grocery store, the check cashing place, and a young guy couldn't sign his check because he didn't know cursive.
Yeah.
Right.
Like those are the things that they are not teaching in school anymore. Like when I was in school, like I said, I'm just a couple of years older than you. We were taught certain things. Like
That's
we had
right above the chalkboard, they had the capital A, then they had the cursive A.
right. Like we had the basic things like home economics, health class, and stuff like that. You know, driver's ed, and all of those basic things that you needed to progress as an adult.
I didn't have health or driver's ed. I didn't have sex education. I didn't have nothing.
I had sex education starting in like 5th grade.
Yeah, I never had any of those classes.
Yeah, but see, right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we only are a few years apart, and you know, that just shows like
how much it changed quickly.
Changed so fast. Like, I learned those things, but he didn't afford those things to be able to learn, you know, and be taught. And that's what's missing right now, and that's why a lot of people aren't actually grasping what's going on in politics and all of this stuff, because they're not being taught. You know, like they get taught the basic history, not the full history. You know, so they're not understanding why the need to go vote and why these people need to be in this place or this needs to happen for things to progress. So, you know, we can move forward in the United States as a whole country, you know?
Yeah, because even when I was in college, I took a history class, and it was like the stuff they teach you about American history in high school was totally wrong. It's the way how they taught it. Like, it was stuff I didn't know. Like, it was events that led up to certain situations that wasn't taught in high school. So then when I got to college or whatever, and I'm expected to know these things, I didn't know because it wasn't taught it wasn't taught to me that way. Like, there was like a major battle where things had, when it was, I think it was during the Civil War, and it was, was it the Civil War? I think it was the Civil War. Where it was a major battle that had happened that really kind of turned things that had happened. It was called the Battle of Saratoga. But I was not taught this in high school, so I'm expected to know this in college and had no clue. So I'm sitting here looking like a complete dummy. And that's why I feel like we just lacking.
I mean, so I don't feel like it's just the public school system. I just feel like it's
the system as a whole.
Because I feel like I feel like teachers are underpaid. Because it's really, really hard to teach a group of kids that don't want to sit still and learn nothing in the first place.
Because the parents need to stop trying to put their kids on drugs.
Man, whoop they hush, y'all.
Yeah. And especially with a lack of the material that you actually need to teach the kids what's going on.
But then, like, another thing though was like when I was in high school and I walked into a special education class. Now, mind you, like some of them they only take, like, they still take some regular classes, but then some classes they take special ed classes. So then it was like I walked in and they're doing basic elementary math. I'm like, well, how are you preparing them for life as an adult and we still teaching them basic skills, like just basic like toddler skills? But then you expect for these people to go out into the world and be productive citizens, but only basic elementary skills. You basically setting them up as thinking that things are going to be easy, and it's not easy.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, I understand people with special needs, you know, special skills, and me working, you know, in the field that I work in. Like I said, I work as a general cleaner, but
these kids wasn't really special need. They just had like
issues, you know,
attitude issues, behavior issues.
And I work in a behavioral health facility, and you know, you see a lot of different things, and they think the whole thing is to put them on a medicine, give them a pill, and that'll calm them down. A lot of these kids, just like they said, really just need a good butt whooping. But because the police or the society or whoever, the court system, says that you can't put your hands on your kids anymore, it's just, like I said, that whole lost generation, and that's why you have so much going on. And like I said, such a lack of knowledge of what's happening right now in the United States, because like I said, these kids, they just don't know.
All right. I need to get a little off topic for one quick second. Do you know what a boomer is?
No.
Okay.
Oh, you talking about that moment Corey had yesterday?
So the 30-year-old called me and Tina boomers. I'm like, so I'm thinking like he talking about like baby boomers. I'm like, no, those are the people that was born in like the 60s and 50s.
See, that's what I thought.
But apparently his generation is something totally different.
What is it?
I don't know.
I don't remember what he said, but it didn't make any sense.
That's what I'm like. I guess this is the way you're trying to call people old.
Yeah.
Man.
I guess I was lost.
I guess he was calling. I guess he kind of felt like we was nagging him.
No.
So he started calling us boomers. So what? Old people, right?
Right.
That's something that old people would say. You know what I'm saying? Because of the stuff that I was saying. See, somebody. I'm like, boy, if you don't get out of my kitchen eating my food up.
Right. Oh my God. Moving along. they had got totally off topic because we got going into about education and why America was so powerful.
Cool. So,
but one of the things we wanted to talk about was
that wall.
the
man.
wall. Like, why do we have a wall to separate us in Mexico and not a wall that separate us in Canada?
I never understood the point of the wall because from what I understand, they can still get through the wall.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But then, like I said, like, do Canadians come over here illegally?
So, they probably have, but for whatever reason, we're focused on what Mexico is doing.
Right, because who's to say that a Canadian ever crossed the border and came over here and started working illegally and killed somebody?
Because from what I thought, they just needed an ID to come over to the United States, right?
Okay, so for us to go, from what I had read, for us to go into Canada, all we need is our driver's license. But for us to cross back into America, we need...
Verbo has private whole vacation homes for the whole family. So whether it's around the pool or patio, you'll have the space and privacy to reconnect with the people you love. Download the Verbo app. The time for getting back together is now.
To have a passport and a driver's license.
So, America requires more of us coming back home.
Yeah.
Than Canada does for us to go there.
Right.
Wow.
So you need a passport to cross back into America now, if you're just leaving from Canada. Well, the United States, if you're leaving from Canada.
That's crazy.
But like I said,
Because we be on some BS all the time.
But I always say, like, but to me, like, Mexicans, they are very productive citizens. And, like, I don't understand why we cut the butter off. Like these people literally dream of coming here to America, and some of us do take for granted what we have here compared to what they have down in Mexico. These people dream about coming here, and they come here and become lawyers and doctors and productive citizens. But then as soon as we find out that they're illegal, we deport them back after they have saved American lives, after some of them has actually had kids that served in the military, and now we want to deport them back to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but what do you think would happen if they removed the border and made Mexico a part of the United States? What do you think would happen?
I don't think that would ever happen because the government in Mexico, you know, they're just crazy over there. But I mean, it will be kind of chaos because with the whole drug cartel and everything, it would be chaos. But then if they was under our government, I think it would be totally different.
See, and that was my thing, like, because I think if we actually opened up the border and actually utilized the things that they have over there, like they want to utilize the things that we have over here, I think it would actually benefit both sides.
And a lot of our goods actually come from Mexico.
Yeah, a lot of our stuff is made over there. So just imagine if we joined as, the production and everything that can be going on, because I hate to admit it and I hate to be stereotypical, but Mexicans are some of the hardest working people. So why not just open it up and, like I said, make it all one big country, and just...
Right. I think we should treat them the
States.
same way that we treat the Canadians.
Go in and actually show them how to be a government.
I mean, that too.
Because I think that's what they're lacking, a lack of, actual leadership.
Right. And then on top of that, they lack leadership, but then on top of that, they government too treats them very badly too.
Right.
On top of that, especially considering what the people will work for, well, the money that they work for in the places that they have to live in. 'Cause, like
Right.
some of their housing conditions are terrible.
That's-
Like you got
I
some
know
cities
some
where
work
it looks
over there.
normal, but it's like feel like the farther south you go in Mexico, it's like the living conditions seem like it's just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I do want to touch on immigration because actually this TV show that I watched on Freeform, to me, Freeform make the best. This is not a plug. Freeform makes some of the best scripted TV to me because they had touched on immigration. It's a TV show called The Party of Five where this family, this mom and his dad, brought their son over from Mexico, and they came over here illegal, but their son was able to get a DACA. He became a DACA recipient, but the parents never applied to be actual citizens, so they was here illegally. But within the 20 years they've been in the country, they came over here. They started their own business, bought their own house. They had like 3 or 4 more kids after they brought the son over. They already had from Mexico, and then years later, now 20 years later, they get deported back to Mexico after they employed, and these were they paid taxes. Mm-hmm. They still paid taxes, and then they employed so many people within their community. So now you deported these people back to Mexico. And it wasn't for their 20-some-year-old son, who was a DACA recipient, didn't want to step in and take care of his 4 other siblings, plus the family business. There would have been so many people in the community that's out of a job now. and have a sanctuary to go to. And I think it's pretty sad that how they split the family up. Like these people have not been to Mexico in 20 years. They don't even have family. They don't have anything down there. But you deport these people back to Mexico with nothing.
Because they look at all Mexicans like they're all drug dealers and murderers and rapers. Like, all of them are the same. That's how they look at them, just like how they look at black people.
But how you kicking people out of a country that's not even yours, though?
Exactly. That
You know
too.
what I'm saying?
So, right.
Because technically the Mexicans and the Indians and
We're
some people say
over
West
there.
Vikings were here before Columbus and all his people showed up.
How you gonna come to somebody else's country, bully the inhabitants around, make them concentrate themselves to certain areas of the land,
Right.
and then now you putting you telling me I can't walk across this land because it belongs to you or
That's
y'all?
America.
Right. That's
That's America.
complete rubbish. And it's crazy, but then on top of that though, since the son is a DACA recipient, he can't even go to Mexico and visit his parents. Because if he go to Mexico and try to visit his parents, he will not be allowed to cross back across the border.
Wow.
So like this, like after that first episode when they showed the, so I think the youngest was like a couple of months old, maybe like 4 or 5 months old, the youngest kid, and they showed them just getting split up and stuff. They put the parents on the bus, and this boy is now stuck here with these 4 kids, and he was living the regular American life, partying, doing whatever, what they do in their early 20s is what he was doing, and now all that's being changed, and now you putting all this responsibility on a 24-year-old person. And I don't think our government sees that, like how we are really destroying.
They see
destroying.
it.
A lot of them, they don't see it and they don't care. Well, they might see it, but they
That's
just
the
don't
thing,
care.
They don't care because it's not happening to them.
Yep.
Right? Because that first episode, I boo-hoo like a baby. I am not gonna lie.
But see, my thing is, like, if you're going to do it to the Mexicans, then you might as well do it to the Irish and the French and
Everybody that's an immigrant.
Yeah, like
don't just
everybody.
focus on one particular race.
Right.
Because in that case, nobody would be here in America.
Like I said, some of them do come here and they commit crimes, whatever. I get it, but I say majority of them don't. Like, to me, they are the most friendliest people. I love them. They are the most friendliest people, and I think that's just a situation that really needs to be looked at and reevaluated by the government. Because I think they actually had one of the camps where there's whole Mexicans at, and they filed a lawsuit against, I guess, the government due to the conditions of which they were living in, and they actually won their case too. So I'm really happy about that. Cause them living conditions, like y'all put the kids in separate areas, and then you split the mom and the dad up and everything.
But they won the case, but what does that mean? What do they do? Do they still stay in the detention center? Do they get released?
They still stay in the detention center. Some of them, like, they can apply to be citizens, but then, like I said, they can still take months or even years.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Like I said, I just feel like, I don't know. It's been long enough, and I just feel like it's time for somebody to actually go in and talk to them and figure it out what it is or what it's going to take for us, like I said, to join forces and make them a part of the United States.
And another thing, I think they could still be their own separate country. One of the things I think that's holding them back is just their money just not worth nothing compared to other countries. They got probably the less money that has the less value there is out there. And I think that could be like one of the issues. Like if their money was worth more, I think Mexico would be in a very different position.
So I feel like Mexico is powerful.
It is.
It's very powerful. The drug lords just need to come together and figure out how to make it more powerful.
The thing about the drug lords is they kind of run the government there too, and that's one of the issues too.
So yeah, they need to figure it out, like how to make I want to say, I guess, how to make cocaine a legal way to be sold or manufactured or something, or a way to be tested or something. Because I'm pretty sure it has another use other than to be getting high with.
I mean, but it's in medicine though. It's in pills that we Americans take. We have cocaine in some of the prescriptions we take.
I mean, they need to figure it out how to make it more like, I guess, as the value of oil and not make it be so cheap. You know what I mean?
Right, they figured that out. They would be really powerful. So we're going to switch topics into a little bit more politics, mostly to get people just aware to go out and vote. And there are some people who just only go out and vote for president And we need to get you guys out of that mindset because you need to start voting for your local governments and stuff like that. Because you expect change. Like y'all whining and complain and fuss about how the government doing this and the government is doing that. But y'all did not go out and vote and make your voice be heard. And I feel like people who does that should not be saying anything about what's going on in politics because you did not go out and vote. Like we wouldn't be having like Donald Trump. Like a lot of these black people complain, "Oh, that's not my president." Well, did you go vote for the presidential election? Because some people don't vote at all.
No, it wasn't that they didn't. They just didn't want to go vote for a woman.
I totally agree with that. Because I think some people like I'd rather have they instead of having some people I just looked at who are very sexist was like I'd rather have an orange Cheeto as president than a woman.
That's a shame, man.
And
that's that sexism.
Yeah, and it's sad. That's why we have all of this stuff going on in Hollywood because all this sexism stuff. Because like I said, they have people like that. Those are the people.
Well, it started with Trump grabbing pussies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he started in Hollywood. This is a man who was just on there firing people.
Right.
And this is the person that you have running our country.
All The Apprentice.
Yeah, you know, now y'all have him running the country. He knows absolutely nothing about politics. And
it was nothing funnier when he was at the, I guess where they're doing the labs at, where they were testing for the COVID-19. And they had passed him a piece of paper. And he had picked up that piece of paper and looked at it and set it down so fast and passed it on to the next person because he did not know one thing that was on that paper. He didn't understand nothing. But this is the man that you got running our country, and that's why. And the thing about it is, we could have had him. Like I'm kind of fine with him being the president at this point. It's just the fact that if people would have voted for when we was doing like our houses, it would have made a total difference. Because like we can have a Republican president. But if the House and the Senate is controlled by Democrats, a lot of the bull crap that he was trying, it wouldn't have got through. Like if we had a majority, like if the Democrats would have had a majority of the Senate and majority of the House, it's the House and Senate. So the House, which is mostly Democrats, voted to impeach Donald Trump. But then when it went to the Senate, where it's majority Republicans, he got acquitted. Now if it was majority Democrats in the Senate, then he would have got impeached as president. And people need to understand that, like, you need to vote for your House representatives and your Senates and your congressmen and all these local people, because when you get these people in that's going to do change for you, then change will happen. But then when you don't vote these people in, then you get mad because change isn't happening and it's your fault.
Yeah, because they think the president runs the country.
Which is completely false.
He doesn't run the country. I always tell people
all he can do is veto bills.
The president to me is just the person who is he's the spokesperson for everybody else.
Correct. Yeah, that's what he is.
And people don't understand that. If you go vote, this is the spokesperson you chose for yourself.
Because all he do is control the army and veto bills.
Yep.
That's literally it.
So like I said, all these people that whine about, I don't know why I'm still only making $9.50. I've been at this job for this long, and all of this stuff is because you don't go out here and vote for all your local government. That's what you need to do. Vote for your local government.
And as I say, that's what we need to.
And know your local government also. And that's the thing. A lot of people you don't know who your local people are. Your aldermen and your congressmen and your county executives and your secretary of the Treasury and all these people. You need to know who these people are, because these are the people that you're actually asking to go out here and speak for you. These are why your state taxes and everything are so high.
I'm not gonna lie, because when I went to go vote, was that early February? I think we would have voted. I didn't know any of the people on the ballot, so as I'm sitting there at the ballot thing trying to vote, I'm Googling these people's names so I can know who to vote for.
That's a shame.
Because at the time, I wasn't really watching a lot of TV, so I didn't see a lot of ads and stuff of what I saw on Facebook. And then I went to go vote, and like these people that I was seeing like these ads on Facebook wasn't on the ballot. So I'm like, now I have to sit up here and cast this vote, and I don't know who to vote for. So I'm literally sitting at the thing, and they're like, what's taking so long? I was Googling the people names on the ballot.
Oh, well, at least you went in there and you tried to figure out.
I tried to figure out.
That is not a good strategy. Actually look up the people before you go in there. And
I mean,
know
but
who you,
with
know,
the
he like no, don't be like him.
But when the election that just passed, I knew who I was going in to go vote for. So Like
I said, it's just, I feel like now here in Wisconsin, I think it's time for a new mayor. I think it's time for a new county executive, and it's time
I
for
do
some
feel
new
like
aldermen.
Tom Barrett
alderwomen to,
lost his way. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's time for
But
something different.
it's crazy because a lot of people get mad at me when I say this. It is so hard for me to vote Democrat now.
Is it?
Because to me, like when I hear these Democrats talk, they always talk about how they talk about low income people, and I feel like when it comes to that, like they're not really here to help me because I'm not considered low income. And you're talking about creating all these programs and doing all these things to help these people that's in low income. And to me, I feel like not all of them are like this, but I feel like some of the people in low income choose to be there because life is easier for them.
Yeah, I hear you.
And for me, being a middle class person and a taxpayer and seeing my tax money going towards them getting free electricity and free housing, and they even got programs to help them get cars for free. So I was looking at them getting all these things for free on my tax dollar. And then when we go and vote, the Democrats are steady talking about more and more ways to help them. Like, what are you gonna do to help me at this point?
That's true.
Like, I need, like, I don't need a lot of help, but at the same time, like, dang, at least give me a tax break. Like, cut my taxes down.
So I feel like didn't MATC do something for like having free education or something like that? You had to qualify.
if you already had college credits, so if you was going to school and you had college credits already, you could finish like getting you what you need to graduate for free at MATC.
So I feel like a lot more people should jump on that opportunity. I don't know if WCTC offers something like that as well, but I don't know like what the cap off for that is, because I feel like if a lot of people do take advantage of that, I mean, it's a 2-year program. You could significantly boost your income, learn a skill at least. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have a degree, be a doctor, or nothing like that, but learn a skill, do heating, ventilation, and air conditioning.
Right.
Is this just because of the COVID-19 that's going around, or is this something?
No, this is something that has started.
They did this like within the last 2 years. They've been.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, yeah, like I keep telling people, it's places out here. Even if you don't go to the college route, there are places out here that do still pay you decent money to live off of. And I feel like just some people are just so used to paying $25 a month for rent and then getting free electricity and food stamps and all these things. They get used to living like that and don't want to leave that lifestyle. And I think that's one of the huge issues. Then some people was like, well, are you leaning towards voting for Republican? I was like, I like the Republican ideas, but at the same time, the Republicans don't represent me either. Because the Republicans, they represent the people who make them, like Donald Trump said, millions and millions of dollars.
I'm done with you.
They do, and they represent them people, like they got all the tax breaks and stuff, and then like the people that's in the middle, we get no tax breaks, we get no help from the government whatsoever, and like when we pay taxes, it's paying for the people in low class to be able to live the life that they're living, and some of them living very comfortable, actually have more food in the refrigerator than I do, and then at the same time, the middle class people are also buying the products that keep the rich rich. True. So there's nobody that's looking out for them people that's in the middle. There's no party, and that's what's making me really hard for me to vote, especially for president coming up in a few months.
Well, from what I like I said, I do a lot of background reading and stuff like that, and what we've always been taught is Republican and Democrat. But I've actually just recently read something about the Black Republican Party. And they were just touching on the issue that you were talking about. Us as a middle class people, they don't look at us.
Not at all.
Because they look at either you're black and you're working for minimum wage, or you're black and you make enough money to support yourself, and that's just it. They don't look at them people in between, who actually are out here, in the workforce very hard, doing a lot of the groundwork, for the lower class people who bring their wealth up and make them be looked at more than we are looked at. And it's hard because, like I said, we don't get the same benefits as a person who works at McDonald's, or, a person who's at the grocery store. We get looked at like we're just not rich enough, but we're just rich enough to pay more taxes than the average person.
And that is true.
And we're the people who actually carry the upper class because we give them the tax rates. And that's what a lot of people don't look at.
And it's crazy. The reason why the economy is actually failing right now is because a lot of middle class people are not working. And it's the middle class people that keeps the country going. And a lot of people don't see that. And then, like I said, give the middle class people some help.
Yeah.
Like even with the stimulus thing, you're trying to find ways for, the people who were I don't even know how to put it. It's just like even with the stimulus check, you don't give it to middle class. Some middle class people are going to get it, but then it would be like if you're a single middle class person, you're basically not getting. All you're getting is the $1,000 compared to this low, because compared to somebody who's still considered low class and still work and file taxes and has 4 or 5 kids, and they're going to get the $1,000 plus
$1,700 worth of food stamps, and then their lights and gas gonna get paid, and then they ain't gotta pay nothing but $200 in rent for the next 3 months. They getting all of those breaks when the middle class people are still having to fend for themselves.
But they getting nearly $3,000 if you got 3 kids. And just that's why I'm kind of stuck with the presidential
they
election.
They getting another tax return.
Right, basically. And then they was always like, well, Joe Biden would do very good. I don't really. I heard a bunch of gibberish from him. I really not heard that. I don't even pay attention when Joe Biden actually talks.
I don't either.
Only reason I listened to Bernie Sanders because he said he was going to get rid of student loans. So that's the only reason I will listen to him. And I just don't like Trump.
Like I said, I know from me myself personally, I would rather not see Trump do another 4 years in office.
No, yeah.
Like I said, I'm not too sure about Joe Biden. Like I said, I'm not sure unless he has Obama running with him. I don't trust him.
I don't wonder because I know the Democratic convention was supposed to be in July. We don't know if that's going to still go on. Is that when they announce their running mates?
That's usually when that part happens. Yes.
Ooh, excuse me. See, I don't know who any of these people are even thinking about running with them.
Me neither.
I would love to see him pick Obama.
And I was talking to Tina off recorded. We're not off the microphones.
Record.
No, not like off the record because when we were just having a conversation, we wasn't on the podcast, and I had talked about I don't want Bernie Sanders in office because I feel like he has too many health issues.
You get on my nerves.
I mean, but see, looking at Joe, because Joe Biden is not young either, and neither is Donald Trump.
He's not young, but he did not go to the hospital and get a stent put in recently.
Well, the stent was just like a little extra boost to his battery.
That was not an extra boost to his battery. None whatsoever. I
give you an A for your creativity.
Right. I just feel like if Bernie Sanders get in office, he will not finish his presidency. I know it's kind of cruel to say.
But I did say that's when it comes in handy for people to pick a really good running mate.
Right.
Because I cannot, Mike Pence, I still don't know what
that's
he
the
would
only
ever
thing
do
stopping
here.
me from voting for Bernie, though, is his health issues.
So
who was Mike Pence again?
The vice president.
The vice president now.
Oh, he's so irrelevant.
Because you don't pay him any attention.
So that's
that.
But that's the thing, though, y'all. If Trump would have gotten impeached, y'all need to pay attention to Pence. If Trump would have gotten impeached,
he would have became president.
He would have become president, and he probably been making a lot more decisions or running a lot more stuff than what y'all think. Just because he quiet, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Trump is more of
the spokesman.
Like a spokesman, and they know that he has the ability because he's ran so many businesses. He's been in the public eye.
He's just the face of the party,
right?
Because I think behind the scenes, like you said, Mike Pence is running the show.
So I feel like Mike Pence has his hands in a lot more stuff than we know. And if he would have became president, he probably would have been a lot worse than Trump, but not as being incompetent.
Right.
He would have been laying down some laws and going through it swiftly.
Well, see, I don't think it would have been the correct laws. And see, that's my thing. I just don't trust them. You know, and that's my whole thing. Like, you're supposed to be able to trust your president.
Right.
The people that you have in office. And I don't trust them. I feel like their interest is always in for what's best for them.
Yes.
Like I said, especially like with this whole COVID, well, as Donald Trump says, the China virus. I just feel like it was a whole lot more to it than what they're telling us. Like, I think they knew way before they're telling us.
They
like
did.
I said, especially with all of this stuff coming out about the stocks and stuff now and what's going on with them.
With
like,
that insider trading.
Yeah, like I said, it just all seems so fishy to me. But like I said from the beginning, and you just made that perfect point, Donald Trump is the perfect businessman. And this all has to do with business if you all look at it to me. Because all he's been talking about is relief.
China.
Relief funds for everybody. And where are these relief funds coming from? From our deficit. The thing that he has been talking about since he got in office.
So
the
he
thing
can make
that he said Obama blew to oblivion.
We for be in debt even more now because
by
of this
trillions
whole thing.
and trillions and trillions of dollars, according to him.
Trillions and trillions of dollars.
Yeah,
you got to
see,
do the whole hand motions with it.
Yeah, see, you know, like I said, it's just it all seems like one big agenda to me, and I think people really need to pay attention. They really need to pay attention, especially with this next election that's coming up and where it's going and where it's headed.
So,
especially not being able to go and actually vote in person. Like, how long is this whole?
But that's why them absentee ballots are so important too. But like I said, I'm not scared. I'm gonna go vote.
I'm always gonna go vote. My granddaddy said that's why they fought and that's why they sat at them counters and that's why they did what they did, so we can go out there and vote, and that's what I'm gonna do.
I'm absolutely gonna vote. I just gotta figure out who I'm gonna vote for, because right now, I'm glad we got a little bit more time so we can make up our minds and see more things come to light. Because right now, I can't, and I usually be around this time like, okay, I probably will vote for them. Or I probably,
you have some sort of idea on who
I don't have an
vote
idea.
for.
And that's what's really hard for me right now. Like I said, I make sure I vote in every election, no matter how big or little it is. I always make sure I vote. But now I'm just at the point now, like, I just don't know who to vote for. Who should I go for? Because there's just so much bullcrap going on in the world right now, and you just don't know who really to trust and who is a good person to be running the country right now. Because who's to say that what's the other guy name? Oh God, I forgot his name. Joe Biden is gonna know how to handle this whole corona thing if the corona is still going on, or it's still a big deal then, which it probably won't be.
But see, like I said, that's what a lot of people forget. Y'all forget that he was in office when the whole Ebola thing happened. He was in there with Obama. So
but the only thing is though, the Ebola wasn't spreading like how the coronavirus is. We didn't have all these cases.
So what about H1N1?
I was just gonna say when that flu hit. Like I said, it's a lot of these. But see, not only that, but they have a lot of things they can go back and look at. Like when Cryptosporidium happened here in Wisconsin. A lot of those things they need to go back and look at what was the exact cause of those things. Like I said, I don't even think a lot of people think water can be bad. You know what I mean? But it's those things that you actually have to pay attention to. Go back and do a lot more research and figure things out and figure out new resources for things too. Because that's a lot. The number one problem is we don't have enough resources to figure out how to test these different medicines and stuff like that. And that's another big issue.
Yeah, that and just plain not knowing.
True, because like I said, a lot of these diseases are new, and
I mean, China said that we were very underdeveloped when it came to like our healthcare system.
Because to be honest, like China, they've been talking about the coronavirus since like December.
Yeah,
because
but it's like our government just ignored the issue because they thought that it was just going to stay over there, and it ended up like we got people that travel over there, and now all these people that don't travel back from all these foreign countries over there has brought the coronavirus back to the U.S. with them.
So, but China is saying that some of our soldiers were infected when they went over there.
See, the doctor, it was a doctor who first said something about it back last year. And remember, he was trying to warn us back then, and then he ended up getting sick and dying, so they say. But You know, it was just, you know, he put it out there then and nobody listened to him, and then it got worse and spread because he was trying to stop the spread of it, and he tried to warn us.
Because he
but
probably
nobody
had the vaccine this whole time.
He was trying to make a vaccine for it, and like I said, that's why he died from the virus.
Now they're making a vaccine. Now they saying it might not be available until next year. So
and this is just crazy. See, and I try not to be one of those people who think of these theories and stuff like that, but it just takes me to the movie Contagion. You know what I mean?
Never heard of it.
What is actually going to happen? What is actually going to happen when, or if we cannot stop the spread of this virus? Because from what they were saying at first, it wasn't supposed to be deadly to a certain age group.
But China has already figured out how to stop it because they already got people. I think they have now gone a couple of days
without anybody dying.
At the time of this podcast being recorded, they have gone a couple of days without nobody testing positive for the virus anymore.
Now, like I said, did they contain it, or did they just put them all in one place?
So
or how did they take care of it
if
they have no vaccine for it? See, that's my big question.
So
how is that possible?
No, probably because they hit there first, so they already hit the peak first. But like they even closed down like they pop up hospitals and stuff that they had, and like these pop up clinics and stuff. They closed down all them places, and now just the regular hospital that was already up and operating or handling them cases. Now there's still people that are still positive, so they don't reach their peak and everything, and then they don't found the way how to contain it. Like I said, they put the whole country basically in self-isolation for like 2-3 weeks, which the U have not did. And now here we go now steady getting more and more cases, and yet we have yet to shut down completely.
I mean, just imagine if the whole U.S. just actually shut down.
I mean, that is true, but then like they said, only the essentials will go to work, which is like healthcare, government officials, so the government and everything will still run. And everything, like I said, like you still like when they shut down, like people were still allowed to go to grocery stores, or like how it is in California, they can go to grocery stores, they can go on walks. You just can't be in large groups of people.
So so with that being said, you feel like self quarantine is a good thing, so we can stop the spread. So I agree to a certain extent. But then look at how Italy did. They made everybody stay in the house, and look at all these people dying in Italy.
I mean, yeah, but it took them a while though to put that into place though. So these people
kind of like us though.
Yeah, and that's why they had to think. So I think if we would have did it sooner, we probably wouldn't have as many cases as we do now.
But see, my thing is, if you lock everybody down in their house, the people that have it, they're gonna get everybody in their house sick. So then all those people have it, and then if they can't get out to the hospital because there's no cure, as they say, what's gonna happen?
I mean, but even if you're in a house with somebody, you just isolate yourself. You don't.
So I'm expected to stay in this one room in my house and not do nothing.
Yep.
For a whole 2 weeks.
Yep.
You know how crazy a person can go just locked in a room and they by themselves for all those hours.
I mean, yeah, but like I said, like you can't come around interact. Even if you go around that person, just wash your hands and then wear the N95 mask if you feel comfortable. But mostly, you just gotta wash your hands. You still go around them. Just wash your hands.
I guess I don't know. I just feel like this whole thing is.
I feel like it's blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
To me, because where I work, I have come in contact with people who are tested positive for it, and I'm fine.
Now, so you see, that's what they don't tell you. That's the thing. Like you can be fine now, and then.
It can have up to a 2-week incubation
2 weeks from now,
period.
you just fall over and you can't breathe.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time,
so that's not the way it's gonna happen.
But I feel like my immune system is strong enough to be able to fight off the virus.
That's what they be saying. It's for the more vulnerable, at risk patients.
Like I said, I use an inhaler, but I have had the same inhaler now for like 2 years. So I'm not one of those people who really have to rely on an inhaler. So my immune system is pretty strong. Yeah. And I already know this is something that my body would be able to fight off. So that's why I'm not too much worried about even catching it. Or if I do get it, it's just like when I get a common cold. I just be in bed, watch TV, eat soup.
Which they put some tussin on it.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's how I feel about that. But anyway, moral of the story is make sure you know your government. Make sure you go out and vote for your presidents and your congresswomen and your aldermen and all these other different things. So those things are very important for the government, even local government, to keep things in order. I noticed that things have been slightly different since we switched from Scott Walker to what's her government name? Tony Evers.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a slight difference, but considering that what do we got here? Senates. That's up in Madison. Senates. And all them people, the whatever, them people.
The House of Representatives?
No, like in Madison, the Capitol Hill people in Madison.
Okay.
Them people. Since they're still majority Republican, you know, he still can't get a lot done, and then they went in and voted right before he got in office to weaken his power. So basically, he's a governor with no power now.
Oh yeah, he did. They did do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't see much of a difference. But like I said, we get them Democrats in the office who can make them changes. If people go out and vote in their local government, and we can get in and make them changes, and they can stop, do another bill to not weaken the governor's powers, wouldn't have a lot of the issues that's going on here.
Like I said, this whole bill thing is what gets me, how they can just create this out of thin air and say, this is the new rule and we got to follow this.
Exactly.
Like, I thought it was supposed to be like the 10 Commandments. Like,
I don't know.
you just can create a new law. Like, I understand, like, it's always stuff happening, but, it's just, they just come out of thin air with, oh, it's a new bill here for the governor to sign. Is he going to veto it or not?
Right. Just make sure y'all go out and vote for your local government. Don't be scared to go out and vote. Like I said, I went out and voted and everything's fine.
Absentee ballots. Go get you one.
No, because I like to stick my thing in the machine to get my I voted sticker.
I love it.
That too. But all voting places will be open.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no excuse for you not to go out and vote.
All right, before we go, I want to get into this movie because we were supposed to be introducing movie reviews to the podcast. So as y'all notice, this is a little bit longer episode because we never had no nearly hour-long podcast so far. But
I'm sorry.
So Tina Marie, now she about to be that heifer, this heifer.
I'm sorry.
Made me sit through an hour long and 29-minute long movie.
He sounds cheap.
27 seconds.
You see how petty he is, y'all?
Hey. She made me watch this whole movie on Netflix called 3022, and the whole movie was about nothing.
It was about stuff.
It was nothing.
Okay. So I just knew because it had Omar Epps in it, it was gonna be good, right? And it had a whole bunch of other people in it too, right? It should have been good.
The iCarly girl really did that. What's she done since iCarly? Miranda Cosgrove, whatever her name is. What has she done since iCarly?
So
and the other two people, I didn't know who they was.
I didn't either.
Exactly. That proves my point exactly.
So it looked like it. So it's a movie about a journey to space.
It wasn't no journey because it started with them just floating in space. You stopped that line.
No, it started off with him hugging his family goodbye and then looking at the rocket going into outer space.
Oh, I ain't see that part.
Because you weren't paying attention.
Oh. Because it was stupid anyway.
He never gave it a chance. Man.
Because the whole movie, they were just floating in outer space and people just hallucinating the whole time. I'm like, well, what the fuck?
So it was supposed to be a psychological thriller.
You can't have a movie about nothing and then call it a psychological thriller and supposed to have people think and it's a bunch of nothing.
So the ending was stupid, though.
It didn't have no ending. You stopped that line. It wasn't no beginning. It wasn't no middle. It wasn't no ending. It didn't have no climax. It had nothing.
It didn't have a climax.
It was nothing.
No, it did have a climax.
Well, when everybody was strangling each other, that was the climax. No, no.
That was a climax.
It was a whole hour and 29 minutes and 27 seconds of nothing. I'll give that movie a Rotten Tomato.
A Rotten Tomato.
I would throw a Rotten Tomato at that movie.
Oh, my
Netflix,
goodness.
remove it off of there. It was horrible. And Netflix, if that's a Netflix original movie, y'all need y'all butt whooped because that movie was terrible.
I'm sorry, y'all. He didn't like my choice, so he got to choose next.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose the next one. I don't know what I'm gonna choose yet because it's gotta be something blowing up and funny. Even the fire in the dang movie, it was so fake. It looked like a little kid did I wish I could show y'all. I might have to start recording these episodes for y'all on camera. It just looked like a 2-year-old did like this, and then they just made it look like fire. It was so like computerized and fake. It was terrible. The graphics was terrible.
He ain't even gave it a
even
chance.
when they showed the Earth,
y'all.
well, even when the Earth was look like it looked even horrible when the Earth was looked like it was blowing up. It was terrible.
It did.
Oh,
it
blew
did.
up?
Yeah,
It blew up, and then it blew up from the core. It ain't had no asteroid hit or nothing. It blew
didn't.
up from the core.
It didn't. That's it.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at her.
It's trending on Netflix.
How?
Though. So how was I supposed to? It was. It is. It
Whoever
says
is
number
making
9
this
in
movie
top
trend
10.
on Netflix, stop.
They only doing it
Take it
because
away.
Omar Epps in it, and he haven't been in anything in a long time.
Well, he needs to stop being in stuff in a long time then, because that was horrible. Then they show him old at one point. Like, when the fuck did he get old? They kept going back. It kept going back and forth to him being young and old. I'm like, but then like I don't get
stuff
I
out.
don't get like if this supposed to be like is this? But then it showed him cutting off his hair, and then he had to look young again. I'm like, I just could. I don't get it.
He's so mad at me, y'all.
I just don't like. He could. All I know, if he cut off his hair, he looked young again. He had this gray hair. His face was like had all these wrinkles on him. They made him look old. Then he cut off his hair, and then it was like the wrinkles was gone.
It was some random.
But
person,
it was in present
It was
time.
some random person behind him too.
Right.
At
But
that
who was
one
this
point.
random person? Like
I don't
nobody.
know.
They ain't never say nothing about the random person through the whole movie. It was a bunch of nothing. I had never watched a movie about a bunch of nothing since this fool made me watch movies with subtitles with no ending in it.
The movies with the subtitles be real good. Don't be hating. You know they need it.
It mean nothing. like the Rock said, "Hello, it's nothing." He says he know you. That's nothing made that movie. It's a bunch of nothing. They need Netflix. Please take that movie off. Please take it off. I will cancel my Netflix subscription just because how bad that movie was.
Jeez, Anthony, why so serious?
Because it was terrible.
Oh man!
I was mad because I really sat there for an hour watching this movie and it was just that
Look,
terrible.
I forced him to watch it. He told me, "I want to go home and watch it." I said, "No, you're not. We can do it right here, right now."
Good thing
You
I
ain't
would have been
doing
so
nothing.
I would have been pissed off watching that by myself.
You ain't doing nothing right now. We finna do this right now.
And she lucky she gave me some brown liquor, so it kind of kept me calm.
Don't do the brown.
Well,
Don't do the brown.
I had came home. I played one game of 2K was out.
See, it got you right.
Whatever. But I would not recommend that movie. If y'all see it on, y'all need to email Netflix and tell them to delete it. Take it off. But we're gonna call it an episode. Thank you guys for listening to our shebang this episode.
Shebang bang.
Yeah, our shebang. See, I ain't say thank you for watching like I did on the last couple of. I'm getting used to podcasting now.
You're so special.
I'm getting used to podcasting now. That's gonna be my new favorite button.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus, y'all.
Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you tell your friends to
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
about Same Cast Different Day podcast.
Get
Don't
the name right, y'all.
I know. Shut up. So you can make sure you follow, like the page on Facebook, the Same Cast Different Day. Like I said before in the last video, we do respond to messages and comments and all those good things. And shout out to our, let's actually check and see what our community is looking like right now. So I got some notifications here. Who that girl was bald headed that just showed up in my notification?
Oh my goodness, y'all.
It's not updating y'all, so I can't tell you.
That's what he get for talking about people.
Oh, we nearly 600. So we're nearly
man.
600 in. All right. So yeah, thank you guys for joining our community. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Martell Rowland.
You can find me on Facebook at Tina Marie Haslett, Instagram at Twitter __TINAAMARIE.
And then we got Manorexic here still.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Marcus Buckalter, also on Twitter at Marcus Buckalter. Thank you.
Did he try to use a sexy voice? Like,
Did not.
He tried to start off with sexy, but he tried to use the sexy
You better
voice.
leave him alone. You
Nah.
better leave him alone.
So anyway, thank you for listening to the must listen to podcast of all time. We will see you guys in the next episode.
Bye bye.
¿Qué desea ordenar?
Una Big Mac y... Oye, ¿pedimos 10 McNuggets?
Sí, miti miti.
Dale. ¿Te acuerdas cuando mamá te hacía compartir y peleabas?
Ey, más respeta a tu hermana mayor.
El amor de hermanos deal de McDonald's. Ordena por anticipado por el app de McDonald's y llévate 2 de tus favoritos como McNuggets de 10 piezas y una Big Mac por solo $6. Precios y participación pueden variar. Producto individual a precio regular.